Rory, you haven't said anything about yourself, but you're a wheelchair user. You weren't a wheelchair user always. Were you in this field before you acquired your disability?
No, I was a soldier before I acquired a disability. My father had polio. I don't know if you knew that about
I
me.
didn't.
Obviously, I knew something about disability. But the and of course, as we were talking before we got on, is that that it's it was an extremely challenging time when Judy acquired her disability, and it was still pretty challenging when I acquired mine. I think things have gotten considerably better in the last 40 years. Although I say we have hopefully not another 40 years of progress, we can maybe accelerate things, but there's still a lot of challenge. But yes, I I have a spinal cord injury plus multiple other injuries. I use a wheelchair for mobility, and I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army. And I also work in the VA as well as the University of Pittsburgh. And and unfortunately, I've injured myself 3 times seriously. So the first one resulted in a spinal cord injury. The second time resulted in a syrinx, which actually made my spinal cord injury more severe. And the last one a few years ago. Fortunately, I've also got to experience the rehabilitation process 3 times, about 20 years apart, which is not something I recommend, but it's interesting at least to learn how much has changed and in some ways how little some things have changed.
And he's also a Paralympian. So, I mean, the reason why I think it's important to shout all those things out gets back to the point that David and Rose were raising earlier. Um, Rory, I think, is a unique person in many ways, but the combination of his personal and professional life certainly is unique. We to be effectively engaged, you don't need to have everything that Rory has, although if we could replicate him multiple times, that would be great. So I am also a wheelchair user. I'm 73. I'm almost 74. I had polio in 1949, and I'm a polio quadriplegic, and have experienced over the course of my life from when they didn't even have children's wheelchairs. I was saying to Rose and David the other day that if you look at pictures of me when I was a young child, I had my braces on where my knees are straight. I was sitting and the wheelchair was so big that my feet like literally hung out across the seat. And of course, today now we have children's wheelchairs, all types of children's wheelchairs. Um, and I received a motorized wheelchair like in 1969. So I was 21, 22 years old at that point. And, but my personal experiences, both as an advocate and someone who needs technology, I think is very important for people who are going to be involved with helping me get my next wheelchair, helping me look at how I get on and off the toilet, helping me look at how I get in and out of bed. And I have a physical disability, and obviously, we're not limiting this discussion to people who only have physical disabilities, but really the full panoply of people with all kinds of disabilities, and the importance of, from my perspective, really learning from people about how they're living their lives and what are their dreams and fantasies of things that they would like to change. Some of which we maybe will be able to change down the road, other things that can be changed right now. But it's critically important to, in designing new or in prescribing, to really understand the person, because there's so many times where equipment is ordered and it's not the right equipment for the individual, and lots of time and money is spent and then later on can't be used. And much of this can really be avoided. But I think it's really important for those of you who are working in the area of design to really meet people, spend time with them, learn from them. Um, for me, I have a motorized wheelchair, as I mentioned. And one day at the hospital that I was getting my wheelchair seating, I was talking to one of the guys who did rehab engineering and telling him that I really would love to be able to have a wheelchair where the armrests could slide back and forth because I need to get under tables. I need to do the way I go to the bathroom. I created a way that I could go to the bathroom with very, very limited help that nobody helped me design. It was done by me. And this guy really was listening to me. And one day said, I saw something on TV, and he created these armrests that can easily slide back and forth. That was because he was very attuned, understood me, didn't think I was some crazy person wanting something for no purpose. And those armrests have made such an amazing difference in my life.